Do you own a house? I don't, but if I did, I'd be betting the house on these 5 fantasy football players in 2025. That's how confident I am that these guys will crush your league. You can draft these guys. Bam, draft button. We're in redraft season. We're in Dynasty redraft season 2. Preseason in full effect. Listen, the draft button comes up. Bam, press it. These guys will win you your league. I'm confident. Let's talk about them. Smash the like and subscribe button. Let's get into it. The first name that I'm ready to sell the house for is Jalen Hurts. And you might be saying to yourself, what are you thinking? Well, I can actually make an argument that Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback and should be going first off of draft boards in 2025. Yes, I get it. I'm senile. Now, in my personal rankings, which are free, go join the Discord. They're free. Top 250 rankings. I had Jalen Hurts coming in at QB3, 2 spots behind Josh Allen, right? So I have Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson going off 1-2. But Jaden Daniels for Jalen Hurts. Hurts has to be number 3 for me. Let me tell you why. Now, Jaden Daniels does average 52 rushing yards per game in his rookie year. He did have, one touchdown every 2 games, let's call it. So the touchdown rate was not comparable to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts' rushing upside, he averaged about 35, 40 rushing yards per game the last couple of years, even higher in 21 and 22, but 35, 40 the last 2 seasons. The thing you like to see here is Jalen Hurts' touchdown rate on the ground. The last 3 seasons with the tush push, he averages 1 rushing touchdown per game. So before he even throws the football, you can guarantee you're getting about 6 points from your rushing touchdown point into your lineup. That's just not comparable compared to some of the other guys. Like Josh Allen has actually done something similar with the way we look at his points. But if we take a look at 2023, he had a very high rushing touchdown rate. Now he's back down to about 0.7 in 2024. So Josh Allen has a similar rushing touchdown rate, but even him is not as high, not as consistent as what we have with Hurts. But Josh Allen, I would say, has more of a gunslinger instinct in him, whereas Jalen Hurts has been more conservative with the football. But even Lamar Jackson's rushing touchdown rate, not even close. Lamar Jackson's rushing touchdown rate has only been half as good as Jalen Hurts in his top season. But he obviously has high rushing volume. Like we're talking about 65, 70 rushing yards per game is what Lamar Jackson can average through a whole course of the season. Obviously Hurts can't. But I love Jalen Hurts this season just because of the fact that it's going to be a harder schedule. He's averaged 1 rushing touchdown per game, so he's going to do that again. But he's going to have to air the ball out a little bit more. Saquon Barkley's not going to be able to carry him downfield as much. He's going to have to start passing it. His attempts per game was down 5 or 6 less attempts from the last 3 season average. His completion percentage was good. His yards per attempt was actually higher. So if we can project out more passing volume, we're going to have more passing yards, more passing touchdowns. And Jalen Hurts, where he finishes as QB5 in 2024, I think he can get back to QB3, QB2 in 2025. And he's the 3rd, 4th cheapest quarterback off of draft boards currently. So that's why I love Jalen Hurts, one of my favorite picks. Next name up, and you might be saying, why are you betting the house on this guy? You might be right. But I'm all in. I'm all in on Chris Godwin. It's scary because there's not really much injury news. As of right now when I'm making this, we don't know how much time Godwin's missing. In fact, let me just guess. I think Godwin's probably going to miss about 1 to 3 weeks at the start of the season, and I'm still fine paying this price. We had a 7-game sample size in 2024, and he averaged 19 points per game. It was one of his career best looking seasons, and everything was good. Now, the reason I love Chris Godwin and why I'm actually feeling a bit more comfortable, right? They knew about this injury, and they gave him a 3-year, $25-30 million a year contract. So they gave him a bag knowing his injury and knowing their timeline internally. So with that said, they wouldn't have paid Godwin if his injury was going to, impact him heavily on his return back. I think Godwin's going to be just fine. They're going to be phasing out Mike Evans. Like, they're going to use Evans a lot this year, don't get me wrong, but this is Evans' last year, so they're really going to want to have Godwin step up and kind of fill that role. They bring in Ibuka, which is sure that it might hurt, that might hurt Godwin in the short term, but really Godwin's going to be just A-okay. And I love the price. His ADP is 70. You're telling me you can get this guy in round 6, round 7. I get he's missing the first 1, 2, 3 weeks, but if he comes out and averages 15, 16, if he comes out and averages 17 points per game, which is less than what he did last year, that's a league-winning pick. That is a league-winning pick in round 6, in round 7. So Chris Godwin, all in, put the poker chips on the table. Name 3, another new position. So we've done QB, wide receiver. Now we're going to tight end. Tight end, I have Sam Laporta. This is pretty similar to the Jalen Hurts right here because Jalen Hurts, he's the 4th quarterback in the rankings. Laporta is the 4th tight end. But the reason I love Laporta so much is the ADP difference. You have the top 3 tight ends, and they deserve to be top 3 for a reason. But, two of those guys go first 2 rounds, and George Kittle goes also sometimes round 3. Laporta goes round 5. So Laporta is the 4th best tight end in my rankings, and there's definitely a tier drop off from 3 to 4. But the reason I love Laporta is because I think there's a tier drop off, a big tier drop off from 4 all the way down to 5, 6, 7, right? Like if you compare Laporta, Hawkins, and Kelsey, I'm taking Laporta all day. It's not even close. Laporta obviously didn't match his stellar rookie season, but that's fine. Like tight end 9 finish. The reason people are not taking him as high this year is because they lost money due to him. He was getting drafted in round 3 last year. Now he's getting drafted in round 5. So round 5, round 6. So people are fading him more. He's going into year 3, new offensive coordinator. I get it. But Laporta still had a pretty solid second year from like an overall tight end perspective. People just got bit by overpaying for him after his amazing rookie year. I think we're going to see a happy middle where maybe Laporta averages 11.5, 12 points per game this year. And I'm fine paying a 5th, 6th round pick to get the tight end selection locked in my lineup. And if I take any of these 4 tight ends, I'm probably only rostering 1 tight end on my roster. So you kind of save an extra roster spot, which is valuable when you're only using a round 5, round 6 selection. So I love Laporta. Isaiah Pacheco. Between Godwin and Pacheco, the house might be lost. But Isaiah Pacheco, I get it. Injured, banged up. And you might be saying to yourself, oh my God, he averaged 8 points per game in 2024. In 2023, he averaged 15 points per game over a large sample size. And if we look at what Pacheco did before the injury, he averaged 16 points per game. Don't get that confused. He was good. He was elite. And only one of those games he had a touchdown. So it wasn't just touchdown points, resulting in the 16. Back from injury, he looked bad, he looked worse, but he broke his leg and you would have looked worse too. The real thing to look at is the snap percent. When he came back from injury, he wasn't really playing. He was playing 30% of the snaps instead of 80, instead of 70 the first 2 weeks when he was healthy. Now, Pacheco has a unique rushing style where when he runs the football, it looks like he has a yearning, a desire to be injured. So that's a concern that, the house might be in jeopardy. But when Pacheco's playing, he's going to be back up to 70% of the snaps on this Chiefs offense. There's no reason he wouldn't be if he's fully healthy. He looks fully healthy in training camp in preseason. So Pacheco looks pretty solid from my eyes. And considering he's going with an ADP of 80, one of the last viable running backs before you get into Dustville, PA with Jordan Mason, Etienne, Charbonnet, Cam Scatterbo, right? Like I'm taking Pacheco all day. Final name is Emeka Egbuka, and this is kind of hedging the bets on Godwin. But really, I like Egbuka too, just because of the fact that you also have Mike Evans. And Mike Evans, between Evans and Godwin, I'm confident that between one of them, someone's getting hurt. Now, the reason I like Emeka Egbuka as his value on ESPN is ADP is 135. That is insanity. Emeka Egbuka should be going in like round 10, round 9 at the latest in my eyes. The high draft capital. Very, very solid highlights from training camp. And he's getting the reps. He's getting the reps over Godwin. Like, I'm confident Godwin's going to come back and he's going to have the role right back. But the Buccaneers are also a high passing volume offense, and they're going to script 3 wide receiver sets where Egbuka gets the ball. Now, if Godwin misses the first 1, 2, 3 weeks of the season, Egbuka is going to be wide receiver 2. Now, if Baker Mayfield forms a liking with Emeka Egbuka, which it looks good in training camp, he's going to, advocate, I want Egbuka on the field. This guy's been making plays for me. So it's kind of a bet that this good prospect profile, high draft capital guy is going to come in here, and they're going to want to develop him too, because once Evans is gone in 2026, Egbuka is the number 2 wide receiver at worst after Godwin. So I like Emeka Egbuka a lot in drafts this year. 5 guys I bet the house on. Is the house safe or am I homeless? Eventually, I'm subscribing. Thanks for watching.